Hello, sports fans. This is PlayitRight TV, and I'm Quinito Henson in Manila. Diane Castillejo just got off the plane from Hanoi, so she's still fresh and smelling of the sea games. Diane,
Hi,
welcome home.
everybody. Yeah, thank you so much. It's been such an amazing run at the SEA Games. Of course, we are all focused on the last day of competition, and everybody's talking about our basketball finals. The men's, the women's, of course, we won that, but the men's, we lost to Indonesia. And Kinito, we have a special guest right off the bat on top of our show.
And he's on top of the world right now. And for all of you viewers of PlayitRight TV, send in your questions and comments. Right now, we are going to introduce the new Indonesian technical basketball director, Raiko Toraman, a very familiar figure in Philippine basketball. Coach Raiko, congratulations. What a historic
Congratulations.
victory. The first Indonesian gold medal in the Southeast Asian Games for men's basketball. Were you surprised at the outcome? Coach Raiko.
Well, yes, it's a real surprise that how we play from the beginning of the Thailand and last 10 days
Coach,
and
I'm sorry, we can hardly hear you. We can hardly hear you. The connection
Yeah.
is very poor.
Coach Raiko, can you move your location a little bit because we cannot understand your words. Maybe the signal is not good where you are right now. Can you take a few steps?
And for our viewers, I hope you bear with us. We are going live.
wait,
Not taping this, Coach Raiko. We can hardly hear you. You were actually much better earlier when you were speaking.
Coach,
Now, can you speak again, please? Oh, he's dropped out and maybe he's looking for another location.
I
Here's
can
Coach
talk.
Raiko again. Yes,
Okay,
hi,
Coach.
Coach
but
Raiko.
Yes.
yes, at the end of the day, it's a big surprise that we beat big basketball country like Philippines in the final of SEA Games. But if you look all over the tournament, I think that we play a very good basketball until the end, until the last game. We that is clear, and he just played last game against Philippines. He didn't practice last 15 days. We were in a big problems, but he found himself in the last game and he helped us to beat the Philippines. For Indonesia to beat Philippines and to win SEA Games is something great. I was looking at our players who were crying in a locker room, who were celebrating like never in their lives. But they deserve because all the tournament we play all local players from Indonesia. Just last game we play with naturals. Thailand had 4 Americans. Vietnam have 7, 8 players who are born in America. And all these times we really play good basketball, and I think at the end of the day we deserve to win. For everybody is surprised that we won, but we made a new team. We got a new import. We young kid, Derek Michael, joined us after NBA Academy in Australia, and I think that he was biggest surprise of the tournament. His impact win is amazing. If I tell you that first game, had 28 points, 18 rebounds, and 5 block shots. That's amazing stats. Game by game, he was playing better and better. I think he's a big future, not just Indonesian basketball. I think maybe he will make something big in Asia because he just signed for NCAA 1 in the United States, like the first Indonesian player for Grand Canyon. Very good university. And we made some younger team than before. we to the team some young players who are playing at this national team. He last year playing in the collegiate championship. The 10 years just we are also thinking about the future of Indonesian basketball. SEA Games was only one age to World Cup next year.
Coach Raiko, I need to ask you about your import, Marquise Bolden, an NBA veteran. He played 32 minutes in the game against the Philippines. Previous to that, he had only played one game. He played 5 minutes. He was having problems with his back. Or were you just keeping him a secret, a mystery for the Philippine game?
No, we won all the tournament because we want him to put him in the shape as soon as possible for the Asia. He was not able. He tried a few times. He has been, and we tried him yesterday in Vietnam. 2 minutes. We didn't. I didn't know that he will play 32 minutes today. We were thinking about 10 minutes, but he, he took a lot of painkillers today that he can play this game, and it's also a surprise for me that he can make this kind of minutes because, usually in Indonesia we don't have big guys. Now, Bolden, he's not a veteran. He's a young player. He's 24 years old. He's coming from Duke, and with Derek Michael, who is 6'9", and a very athletic guy. We start to be very competitive. If you have these two size guys, one on the position 5 and one on position 4, you can go in a EuroLeague, not just in an Asian Championship. That's two very tall and very, very skilled guy. Bolden is an excellent player. He is very talented, very skilled. I think that his NBA caliber, maybe he needs some power. He's not enough athletic for the NBA, but his knowledge, his skills, his talent is really for NBA because he can shoot the ball, he can spread the floor. Today you couldn't see, but the last 15 days he is out of the practice and he's not in a good shape, not in a good game shape. But he showed that he is impact for us against Gilas.
Coach Raiko, before I turn the floor over to Diane for her question, I have to ask you this. Indonesia scored 13 three-point shots. The Philippines only 3. That's a difference of 30 points right there. How many three-point shots do your shooters practice every day? I'm interested to find out because they shoot so well. Grahita, Prastawa, Brandon Jawoto. You had several players, 5 players, who connected at least 2 3-pointers in this game. So how do they practice their three-point shooting? And how many shots they take every time they drill?
Kinit, we are practicing a lot last month. Even we brought 2 coaches from United States, individual work, one for the strengthening coach and one for the individual technique from we have to do a lot on their improvement, because it's not only what Indonesian players told. We are not big size. We are from 1 to 5 before. We are in a mismatch situation. We are not that talented like Filipino players. We are not that athletic like Filipino players, but we we have a high basketball IQ. The players have high basketball IQ. They are good shooters. That's the strength of the Indonesian player. They are good shooters. Now we try to improve their work, to extend their time of individual skills, handling the ball and shooting. And I think it's coming to the result that that they are shooting well in SEA Games.
But again, my question, Coach Raiko, how many three-point shots do they practice every time they drill? I'm interested to find out because some people practice maybe 100 makes from three-pointers before they're allowed to leave the gym. Does that happen to you?
We are not accounting, but I can tell you about one player from NBA from Serbia, Bogdan Bogdanovic. He said, "I'm not going to the gym if I don't shoot 700 three-point shot." You know,
Wow.
Oh,
repetition is the main thing in basketball. You know, you can be a great shooter, but if you don't have a repetition, and Bogdanovic is one of the greatest shooters in NBA from Atlanta, that means you have to work a lot to improve your shooting. Even if you are not a shooter, you can improve your percentage shooting a lot during the day.
okay, Diane?
Coach, I just wanted to ask you, you were leading most of the game until the third quarter. The Philippines had a run there, and then we took the lead. What did you tell your players? And for a short bit, the momentum sort of shifted to the Philippines. How did you get your players to get back on track, especially that you were also having some foul trouble? What were you telling them? And then
was first 5 minutes. Point of the game was first 5 minutes. You know, because when Philippines play against Indonesia, they are coming to the game with a lot of confidence, a little bit arrogant, a little bit, not too much. And I said to the players, "Okay, guys, fight, don't step back. If we be in a close game first 5-6 minutes, that we show that we are not afraid of them. It will be game tie game until the end. It's happened, you know. That's we don't have too much players, you know. We try to keep our best players almost second half. We didn't took out Bolden, you know, because we don't have that much quality like Gilas, because in Indonesia you have 12 players. That's it for international competition. In Philippines you have 50, 60. It just matter who will choose. And with this not sources, you know, we have to do the best. And I think the main point of the game was first 5-6 minutes when we showed them that we are not afraid and that we will fight for each ball. And in this moment, when we start to have a size, that everything is possible.
Nice. Coach, how much time did you have to prepare with this team? And did you go to other countries to have some matches?
Sorry, I didn't understand. Something
How
is
much time
disconnected.
did you have? Yeah, can you hear me now, Coach?
A little bit,
Coach,
yes.
okay, how much time did you have with this team to practice together as a team with Bolden?
With Bolden, it's already 1 month, but Bolden last 15 days he didn't practice. He has 2 small injuries. One, he twisted the ankle and then he stopped to practice 5 days. And after that, suddenly we play some friendly games in Jakarta with foreigners from the league. We had 5-6 games before we came on SEA Games. And last 15 days he didn't practice, but usually, and the Derek Michael, the new kid, he was coming 26th of April. He was
Oh,
with us 20 days. But the rest of the team, they practice a lot from before. But the problem was that we start to play with Lester Prosper, like import. And he's a good player, but he didn't fit us, totally different way of thinking about basketball is with Leicester, and now we brought Bolden, who is coming from Duke, and if you know that Duke has one of the best basketball programs with Mike Krzyzewski, uh, you can imagine what kind of player he is. If you play in Duke, that means that you are good. That he can reach a really, really high level of basketball, even in NBA.
So you mean Coach Raiko with Bolden? He only practiced about half a month with you because he was down for
Yes,
15 days
yes,
because of
yes, yes,
problems. And
yes,
in Southeast Asian games, it was reported that he had back issues, that he had problems with his back,
yes, yes,
and
yes,
and
yes,
that's
yes,
the
yes.
reason why
Everything
he
is
didn't play.
yes, and you have to know that Kinito, that the system that I am playing, especially offensively, is very tough. It's not easy, and he pick up the system for 15 days, and extremely smart player, extremely smart player. Only what he misses is a really power. Power. He is not enough powerful for with the body for the NBA, but basketball IQ very, very high, skilled, very high, talented, shooting wise, great, everything. But for us, he is a really great player.
But coach, he also showed a lot of heart. You were saying earlier that he took a lot of painkillers for his
yeah.
back just to be able to play. Coach Raiko.
Yes, that's also true. Yes,
Now, I
yes,
also
because
noticed.
otherwise, sorry.
So
I
his
also
back,
noticed.
go
Yeah,
ahead.
please go ahead, Diane.
No, I just wanted to clarify. He didn't play the prior games in the Sea Games because of his back. He had back pain
Yes,
in the
yes,
Sea
yes,
Games. So it wasn't that you were not playing him,
yes.
but he was physically in pain. All right. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's true. He even didn't practice, He was just stretching,
Oh wow.
going to one hospital, another hospital for checkup. They find something, but not a really major injury. But he had a pain in his back.
Yeah. So on a personal note, how happy are you, coach, about this win?
Well, of course, that every win, especially when you beat uh, strong team like Philippines, like Gilas, you know, it's exciting, because Gilas is so competitive. It's not too much time that Indonesia can beat Gilas, Philippines, and I am experienced coach. I am 35 years, but still make me make me exciting. But when I
Yeah.
saw our players in a locker room, what means for them and for the country, I was really happy for the guys.
Yes. Congratulations.
Coach Raiko, I noticed that at the start you did not start Derek Michael, Xaviero, and you didn't start Bolden. Was that because you wanted to preserve them and pace their minutes for the later stages?
You know, if if we didn't know until the last second if Bolden will play or not, he
Wow.
try in a warm up to do, and then after that he suppose we didn't know if he will play or not, and this is the reason why we put Derek Michael on the bench, because we are afraid that in the beginning they will put pressure with Fajardo on him, and if he made two fouls, quickly fouls on Fajardo, we are done. We don't have any big guy. That was our strategy. Then we changed. Bolden said that he is able to play. Then we changed Vincent, our big guy, with Bolden. And then, what is Kinito also our problem? We didn't know that Bolden will not play. And then we work on Derek Michael on the position 4. And it's totally different move, totally different things. And one day before the series, we said to Derek on the practice, you will play 5. And we lost sometimes in the first few games. We lost the system because Derek didn't know. It's very difficult to cover two positions, position 4 and position 5. Different moves, different things what they are doing, and that was also our problem. And the kid made a great things, and this is the reason why we didn't start. We didn't know that Bolden will be able to play, and we want to keep Derek for the rest of the game, not to put him in a foul trouble in the first few minutes.
Well, Coach Raiko, we know that your heart is also with the Philippines. You have stayed in the Philippines for many years. You have a lot of very close friends in the Philippines, including myself and my family. But Coach Raiko, what can you say about the Gilas program? And were you able to speak with Coach Chot Reyes?
Well, for me, it's very difficult to say. One lost don't mean that the program is not good. Probably they will make a better team for FIBA Asia. Kai Soto was not here. White Ramos was not here. Some great guys, what I respect. Kwana was not here. They have a lot of option to change some of the guys and make a stronger team. And they will do that for sure, especially after this loss. But we cannot change anybody. That's 12 players what we have now. That's it. But I think that one loss don't mean that it's end of the world. That Gilas will return back, and they are one of the best team in national team in Asia.
Well, that's very good news, very heartening news coming from you, Coach Raiko. And Dayan, before we let Coach Raiko go, maybe just another question from you, if you wish.
No, I know that you're getting ready for the awarding ceremony, Coach.
Yes.
Yeah. So, were you able to speak to any of the players of the Philippines? Any exchanges with them?
Well, during this tournament, I was talking with a lot of the players. Even Junmar was with me in San Miguel, and we were very close and very good friends. And with Kiefer, 30, that's the guys which I know from Philippines a long time ago. After the game, it was very difficult for them to lose against Indonesia, and I didn't talk with anybody, but we just congrats. I congrats them for the good game. They congrats me on the win, and that's it. But this team will be very respectable, and this team have a lot of option, and we surprised them today, but still they can make a good result on FIBA Asia.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Coach Raiko. And we know that you need to finish top 8 in the FIBA Asia Cup to make it to the World Cup. We hope you're able to do that, because Manila will be waiting for you, Coach Raiko, for the FIBA World Cup.
Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations.
Well-deserved
win.
Yes, thank you very much, Coach Raiko, for your time.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Well, Dayan, that was amazing. We were able to catch him on the fly.
Yeah.
But Coach Raiko, he will never turn down any request from a Filipino friend. He will oblige, and it was so nice for him to say that it's not the end of the world. Natalo nga
Yes.
tayo, nasurpresa tayo ng Indonesia. I think it's also a good wake-up call for us way before the FIBA World Cup that we need a training program, a long-term training program, and it's not going to work if we bring in the Ravenna brothers, for instance, 1 week before they leave for Hanoi and hope that they'll be able to gel. It doesn't work that way because basketball is improving in every country, every single day. And we saw that in this competition. Thailand, we won by just 3 points, and then we lost to Indonesia. Even in the women's team, our Philippine women's team lost to Malaysia today, but luckily we still got the gold medal because Malaysia had lost twice before. So we finished actually in a tie for first place with Indonesia, but because we had beaten Indonesia under the winner over the other rule, the Philippines got the gold medal in women's basketball.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, going back to the men's team, Kinito, I mean, while in Hanoi, Coach Chot from the very beginning was very not really concerned, but he was concerned about having not as many practice days together with a complete team. And then also he did say that every country is improving. They're really reinforcing their team. All those naturalized players of Thailand, and of course he did mention Bolden, but I don't, it was always a question on whether he would play or not. But now we know why he really actually didn't play. So they were just out there to just really do the best that they could, and a lot of people it's easy to criticize from the outside, diba?
Yes.
Like when you're not, involved in the situation. But, like what Coach Raiko said, it's one loss. Unfortunately, it's very painful for Filipinos because we've won the last 13 times. So, just lessons to be learned. But, you really have to be happy for him, though. You know what I mean?
Certainly am happy for him. And he's no longer actually the head coach. The head coach of Indonesia is now Milos Pejic. But Toraman has been retained as the technical or program director of the Indonesian basketball program. So he deserves credit.
Yeah, but parang he took over the coaching in
I
the
think
last
so.
in the last
I thought
couple
so.
of minutes,
Yes,
no?
yes. Well, malaki din ang diferensya in terms of age. No? Coach Raiko, 67 years old, and 53 years old lang si Pejic. So I think Pejic also knows that he's the boss. You got to listen to Coach Raiko when it comes to crunch time. But I prepared a dean's list.
Yes, I wanted to ask you about that. So
Indonesia.
let's have your
Maybe we
take
can flash that on your
on
screen.
what
And
happened.
then let's go back to that dean's list and find out where we could have improved, where we didn't do well. I wonder, do we have that dean's list at all? I'm not sure. Or
Yeah,
maybe
I
it's
think
still
we
being
do.
prepared. I hope we do. Our dean's list. If we don't have this on our graphics, and we hope we'll be able to show you, the first thing that we discuss in our dean's list doesn't look like we have a dean's list. I sent that to our producers earlier, but anyway, the first point in the dean's list was defend the perimeter, and that's an X mark because we certainly weren't able to do that. And when you're out there trying to defend the perimeter, that means you have to close out on those 3-point shooters. And as I mentioned, here we are. Here's the dean's list. Defend the perimeter, that's an X mark. And Indonesia actually connected on 13 3-pointers, while the Philippines.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So
and they were so crucial, right?
Very,
and
very
key points.
crucial.
One time when we were down by 6, I think at one point in the third quarter, they scored 2 almost in a row, and it really got them back.
That's unbelievable because Indonesia took more 3-point shots than 2-point shots. And, the 3-point shot is supposed to be a low percentage shot. They hit 41.9% from beyond the arc. Can you imagine? They took 31 3-point shots and they took only 24 2-pointers. Now, it was a reverse for the Philippines because we took 46 2-point shots and we took only 16 3-pointers. But that's a very big disparity. Number 2 in our dean's list is stick to Bolden. And here, I was actually anticipating that Marcus Bolden would have a big, bold game. And he certainly did. 32 minutes played and 13 seconds. And he finished with 18 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 blocked shots. And he was just amazing because he played within the team system. He didn't demand the ball, and he worked to the advantage of his teammates. And I think that's the ideal import when you don't have someone who's dominating by himself, but he's sharing the basketball. Step on the gas is a check mark for the Philippines because we outscored Indonesia 23 to 16 in fast break points. Attack the interior, another check mark for the Philippines. We had 38 points in the paint, and Indonesia only 16. No more secrets. Definitely, because wala na susunod na game. So Coach
Mm-mm.
Chokres, nilatag na niya ang lahat. But what I didn't see, what I was expecting to see, was the pressure defense in the backcourt. And hindi ko nakita yon. And I really think that's because of the lack of training time. When you have
Mm.
more training time, then you'll be able to work on the traps in the half court, or rather in the backcourt, the traps as soon as they cross the midcourt line. So we were not able to frustrate the backcourt. And the backcourt killed us because Prastawa and Grahita made their 3-point shots at our expense. Finally, were we able to box out Xaviero? He finished with 7 rebounds, 1 offensive rebound, and 14 points. This guy is the number one player in the entire tournament in terms of efficiency. And I thought we didn't do a good job in taking him out of his element. He had 2 quick fouls, as Coach Raiko said. He didn't start the game, but he's 19 years old. So what can you expect from this young man? But as Coach Raiko said, he is enrolled at Grand Canyon University, which is an NCAA Division I school in the U.S., and he will only get better. I'm excited to see him match up against Kai Soto, maybe AJ Edu in the future. And I guess the Philippines will learn from this very painful lesson. But as Coach Raiko said, one loss does not mean the end of the world. So thanks very much for that
Agree.
twist. Yeah.
Yeah. Earlier in the game, I mean, listening to your commentating, you were wondering whether, because of the lack of minutes of Bolden playing with the team, whether in the beginning they didn't really look like they had the chemistry na parang, but then
Yes.
as the minutes came on, it's like they got better and better, and they were getting familiar with how we move na and all that. And even in the
Yeah.
third quarter, I was quite impressed with Indonesia because parang nakakuha na ng momentum konti yung Philippines, but they came back, and yeah, those 3-pointers are very demoralizing, no?
That's right. Yes. And
Yeah,
your point about Bolden, I thought in the first half, he didn't really
yeah.
attack the basket. He wasn't looking for a shot.
Mm-hmm.
He was just giving screens for his teammates. Sort of like
Yeah.
feeling his way through the system of Coach Raiko. And in the second half, well, that's when he started to really, really explode. And he finished with 18 points. So great job by the Indonesian team. A setback for the Philippines, but as Raiko said, it's not the end of the world. We will rise from this. We are certainly a better team, I feel. And if we put the right pieces together and the right training program together, Gilas will be back there. Gilas will certainly be back there.
Yeah, well, he did say that we have more depth, way more depth than the Indonesian squad. So I guess, yeah, putting the right people together and the time talaga, right? There's no
Yeah.
substitute to time. Kasi
I also
humahabol na nga yung ibang countries.
Yeah, and Diane, I also thought that there was a lot of pressure on the Philippines because we're the defending champions. Everybody expects us to win, and losing really was not an option. And that's probably the reason also why. And I'm not second guessing our coaching staff, why Coach Chota relied on a nucleus. He just wanted to make
Mm,
sure that he had his best guns out there. But of
yeah.
course, on the flip side, the backside of that is that you tire them out because looking at the minutes played, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 players who actually played at least 30 minutes in the game. At least 30 minutes, 4 players. So medyo mabigat-bigat yan. If you only play 4 players for practically the whole game, they're going to get burned out down the stretch. And there was a point, Diane, when Indonesia missed a 3-point shot, and then we just looked at the ball
Yeah,
and
no
didn't want to
one
go
no
for
one
the
was
rebound.
like going, yeah.
And that's really because of when you've got tired legs, hindi ka na masyado makagalaw eh. Pati your reflexes are uh, are slower. And if you're burned out, you're not gonna chase after the loose balls anymore. And that unfortunately happened down the stretch. But
It's a tough call because like right after the Malaysia game yesterday, they
mhm.
went to practice pa. They went to practice after the game. Coach Chot said that they had a practice at like, well, they played at 11 and then they ate lunch and then they practiced at 4 because he wanted to work on some stuff against Indonesia. So it's a tough call, really. So
Yeah, it really
um,
is a tough call, Diane.
yeah,
Even in women's basketball, although we got the gold, I'm sure Coach Patakino would have wanted that win over Malaysia to end the tournament undefeated. But things happen in basketball. From Munting Kalapati, matagal na yan rason na lack of time. Ano ang solution para dyan? Well,
mm,
it's an easy question to ask, but a very hard answer
yeah,
to make. It's very clear that we can't simply just wait for the best players to come in from foreign countries like Japan,
mm,
like the Ravenna brothers, and expect them to just gel immediately. Hindi ganon. I didn't see too many pick and rolls. I didn't see too many plays run by the Philippines in terms of execution in the offense. I thought the defense of Indonesia was also quite good and matched the intensity of our defense. We were in the game actually because of our defense, because we were shooting
mm,
so poorly from the floor. But towards the end, when we needed to get the crucial baskets, because it's the points that make you win, we just
yeah.
didn't. Those baskets didn't fall for us. Well, that's basketball for you. Sabi nga nila, bilog ang bola.
I know. At dahil bilog ang bola, pwede kang manalo at matalo. There's another comment. Next year, SEA Games, hindi ko siya masyado makita. Mag-prepare na sila. The SEA Games actually next year, Kirito, is in May 2023, which is just exactly a year from today. A year away is the next Southeast Asian Games in Cambodia. So I'm sure there's
Okay,
going to be
that's
a
gonna
lot
be
of
something.
planning going into
Yeah,
the basketball team. I'm
yeah.
starting tomorrow, maybe.
And there were 3 countries that hosted but did not win the overall championship. That and have never won the overall championship. Brunei, Laos was another one, and I can't remember the third one. But Cambodia has never won the overall championship, but they're going to be hosting next year. Kaya you're wondering who's going to win the overall championship, since Cambodia as the host is not expected to win the overall championship. That's interesting.
Okay, so now I think we're going to move to some of our last day boxing results where we had 3 gold medals for the Philippines. Yes. So boxing was our finals day today, and Rogen Ladon was successful. He beat the Vietnamese, which is quite an achievement, right?
Yes.
And I mean, it was medyo doubtful kasi nga, because pagkalaban yung Vietnam, kailangan talagang either knockout or super decisive. So he won via split decision, I believe. Yeah, I think he won split decision via the against the Vietnamese. So Rogen Ladon was our first gold medalist, and then shortly after, Ian Clark Bautista. So happy for him that he won the gold. He was ecstatic making it to the finals. And yung
That was
kalaban
in
niya
the
from
57 kilogram.
no match yung kalaban,
Yeah,
dominado ni Ian
from
Clark
Myanmar.
Bautista. So that was a definite, no question gold for the Filipino. And then the third one, another, not dominating win. Yumer Marshall, the fight was stopped against Timor-Leste. So let's see, Marshall has won the Southeast Asian Games 3 in a row now in this weight class, I believe.
That's right. Yeah, and for Ymir, there we are. These are the 4 finalists, the boxing finalists of the Philippines. So 3 of them made it all the way to the top, getting the gold medal. That's Rogen Ladon, extreme left, and then Ian Clark Bautista and Yuma Marshall. The only silver medalist in that group is Irish Magno. We had hoped that she would win the gold medal because she was the only Filipino fighter from the Tokyo Olympics who came home without a medal. But kausap ko kanina lamang, Dayan, si ABA President Ed Picson, and he told me that he advised Ymir Marshall that in that final match against the Timor-Leste, he would be in a class of his own. Wag lang niyang bigyan ng opening kasi may lakas din yung kalaban. Buti naman nakinig. And hindi niya binigyan ng opening. And the thing about Ymir is that he relies so much on his raw power. So sometimes he doesn't display his boxing skills because he wants to take you out with one punch. And luckily in this tournament, he did. I mean, he just bombarded his opponents with those sledgehammer lefts and rights.
Yeah, well, for Irish, yung kalaban niya, yung Vietnamese, that the
Mhm.
tall Vietnamese fighter that she has lost to in the SEA Games prior to this. So kilala na niya, and she said that they had devised a strategy, but in the fight, I don't know if you saw it, medyo kulang pa rin.
Yeah,
Maybe needing
a little
more
more
variety,
seasoning.
more variety and a little more
Yeah.
experience, because the Vietnamese was so tall. He had a hard time reaching her, but still coming home with a silver medal from the SEA Games for Irish Magna. We're very proud of her and happy for her na nakakuha siya ng medalya. And all the other boxers, Kinito, actually are coming home with at least a bronze medal because
Yes.
they all made it to the semifinals. So it was a very successful campaign for
Yeah.
our boxing team in the Southeast Asian Games with 3 golds, 1 silver, and numerous bronze medals.
That's right. Out of our 9 fighters who competed, all of them are coming home with medals. So 5 bronze medals, in fact. So a great job by Abap. Sayang Dayan, because we could have also had another gold medal perhaps in the 75 kilogram women's division. But that division was scrapped last minute. Yung boxer natin, si
Yeah, yeah.
Bakyadan, was already in Hanoi, ready to fight. But hindi na siya pinayagan because they eliminated that weight division. There was a question earlier about Filipinos fighting against Vietnam or Vietnamese opponents. Bakit kalaban mo malabo na manalo? Well, actually, tinalo ni Rogen Ladon, isang Vietnamese, for the gold medal. So,
Yeah.
doesn't happen all the time. But Nesty Petesio, she lost in a controversial decision to a Vietnamese, Diane. And you were there. That was heartbreaking. Josie Gabuco also losing her foothold on the gold medal in the light flyweight division. So, that also hurt.
Yeah. Well, sabi nga ni President Bumble Tolentino, in the sports na subjective, yung scoring, um, may hometown decision talaga. We're not naman saying na lagi, but it's sometimes difficult to win. And it happened, actually, if you ask him, in our other sports, like in dance sport, karate, judo, there were some decisions that he felt were, that went the hometown way.
Mhm.
There's another question, Kinito.
Yeah, from Abdul Malik Cinco, Yumei Marshall believes in his power and his ability to cope with the opponent's power punches, but he really needs to be cautious. I think that's a very good piece of advice from Abdul Cinco, and I'm sure Yumei Marshall will take that very constructively, not only in his Olympic and Asian Games career, but also as a professional. Okay,
Well,
Diane,
yeah.
that's it with our boxing, unless we have videos. I'm not sure if we were able to get some boxing videos.
We were not able to get boxing
Oh,
videos,
ayan.
but we might be able to show it on another show in the future if we get to
Okay.
talk to our gold medalists pagbalik nila dito sa Pilipinas.
Okay.
So we're gonna do a recap on tennis that was quite successful.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
We had
Hold on. Here's a question from Ernest Bal, just about boxing. Diane, what happened to Palikte? He got acid reflux in the second round, so it was a pity because he was winning the fight. He was actually on the way to victory. But things happen, and when you have acid reflux, or if you have something wrong with your system, something that you might have eaten or what, then accidents happen. And tough luck for James Palikte, but he will be coming home with the bronze medal. So
Oh yeah, I actually saw that fight. I was there when that
yeah.
fight happened. He seemed to like tire out, like something happened to him after he was leading in the first round, and sabi nga ni Marcos Manalo and
Mhm.
si Ed Pixon, he suddenly got that attack of acid reflux on
Yeah.
his stomach, and it just like really wore him down. So
Oh,
even in the locker room after, he was like, he looked really exhausted. So
I
hopefully he
feel for
can.
you. Uh-huh. But Diane, also another word from Ed Pixon, the president of ABAP. One of our fighters, Marjon Pianyar, actually was also leading his fight. In the first round, yung kanyang kalaban was given a standing 8 count. But in the second round, parang he tried to do it on his own without listening to his coaches. He wanted to knock out his opponent and make a lasting impression. Tuloy, siya nabigyan ng standing 8 count. And in the
I
third round,
remember that. Yeah.
medyo naubusan na siya. And so he deserved to lose, but sayang because he was really on his way to victory until he felt that he could take out his opponent with a big punch because na-standing 8 count na nga yung kanyang kalaban. Pero in the second round, siya naman na napuruhan, siya naman na nabigyan ng standing 8 count. But just like in basketball, yung boxing, anything can happen. It's so unpredictable. That's why sports is so exciting. Okay, sa tennis naman tayo.
O sa tennis, so natapos na yung awarding yesterday, the final match between Tret Huey and Ruben Gonzalez against Jason Patrombon and Nino Alcantara. It was an all-Filipino final. So we were coming home from the SEA Games with 1 gold medal, courtesy of the men's doubles team, a silver from the men's doubles team, and four bronze medals. Women's team, Alex Ayala's semifinal finish in women's singles. And then there she is. There's Alex, was so happy throughout the tournament to be playing with the team. That was the awarding ceremony yesterday. And then she also won a bronze medal with Tret Huey. That's her with Tret Huey and POC President Bambal Tolentino after the awarding ceremony. So, and in the men's team event, we also bring home a bronze medal because we reached the semifinals. Sa tennis kasi, the semifinalists, just like boxing, receive a bronze medal. So it was a good performance for the tennis team. They were highly enthusiastic, especially Alex Ayala. It's her birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday,
Wow,
Alex.
happy birthday.
She's turning 17. Super excited to be part of the team, and hopefully she'll be able to play in the next SEA Games, Kinito, because, she's trying to build her world ranking in the WTA circuit. And syempre, the schedule sometimes might conflict. Like, for example, now, playing for the SEA Games in Vietnam, she actually had to skip like 3 pro tournaments because she had to come to the Philippines to get acclimatized, to get used to the humidity of the weather here, which is a big factor in tennis matches, outdoor tennis anyway. It was super humid in Hanoi. Our players were sweating buckets, taking electrolytes. So guys like Tret Huey, Ruben Gonzalez, who play mostly in the States, were really having to hydrate, but they played mostly doubles. If you play singles in that kind of weather, you really have to have some time to get used to the conditions. So that's what Alex had to do. She came here 2 weeks before the SEA Games, and then 1 week before the SEA Games, and then 2 weeks there. So it's 3 weeks out of her calendar. So we're hoping that she can play again in the next SEA Games and also in the next Asian Games, although she really enjoys it.
How do you rate the performance of our tennis team, Dan?
Oh, I think it was quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was good. I mean, in doubles, we retained the men's doubles gold silver finish in 2019, and then in women's singles, we reached further. Alex made it to the semifinals. The match that she lost against Kumkum, sometimes she beats Kumkum, sometimes she doesn't. So, that could have gone with a win as well. Yeah. And then for the men's, there hasn't been a team competition in tennis for the last couple of SEA Games. So it was nice that there was a team event now and that we were able to field competitive teams. In the semifinals, we both lost to Thailand, but they were like all super close matches. So it was quite good. And in the mixed doubles, I think that the tandem of Alex and Tret, or let's say even if Alex plays with Nino Alcantara in the future, I think there's a lot of promise there. Mm-hmm. So, I'm pretty happy with our tennis team. I went to watch the matches quite a bit. And also congrats to Coach Chris Cuarto and Coach Zarina, the coach of the women's team.
So overall, Alex Ayala will come home with 2 bronze medals?
Three bronze medals.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 bronze medals. 1 in the women's team event, mixed doubles, and singles, having reached the semifinals. Yeah, and she's turning 17.
Birthday. Yes.
17 lang siya tomorrow.
That's amazing.
So a lot of years ahead. And she's now ranked inside the top 400. She's like 390 something in the WTA and getting ready to go back to Spain, regroup, and play more matches.
Well, congratulations, Alex, and congratulations to the entire tennis team for that performance. Now we go to billiards. where, Diane, we got 4 gold medals.
Oh yeah, unbelievable. I mean, billiards. I mentioned this before, but for those who didn't, hear that, billiards is super big in Vietnam. Super sikat. Efren Bata was like a rock star, and in the 9 ball, so we won 2 gold medals in the 9 ball. In the men's final, it was an all Filipino, Carlo Biado and Joan Chua. I think we talked about that in our last show. So Chua upset Biado, the U.S. Open champion, and then Rubilen Amit won the 9 ball. And then a few days later, almost the same personalities are in the 10 ball final. Chua versus Biado, a rematch. This time, panalo naman si Biado. So it was so nice, roommates pa sila in Vietnam. So
And Rubilen got another gold.
another gold. She beat Cheska Centeno in the finals, another Filipina. So it shows that we're really up there in billiards. And I mentioned this the last time na si Rubilen didn't really have a lot of practice coming into the SEA Games. She was ecstatic about winning the gold in the 9 ball. And for her to win the 10, to be a double gold medalist in the SEA Games is incredible. So I really love that. And I also want to commend Biado for his sportsmanship, Kanito. Like when he beat Chua in the first, in the 9 ball finals, he was saying, "Oh, okay lang yan, basta Filipino, alam mo, happy ako sa kanya kasi." And he was, he was saying that, napaginipan niya, he dreamt about it. Napanaginipan niya that Johan would win the tournament sa 9 ball. Pero hindi ko na natanong.
Sa
Pero
10 ball.
siguro the second part of the dream, siya naman yung panalo sa 10 ball.
Well, for Rubilen Amit, she got both the 9 and 10. So simply stamping her class as a definite champion. From Crystal Lasyong, the Dean, Miss Diane, bakit po di Olympic sports ang billiards? Hindi lang po yung billiards ang hindi pumapasok sa Olympics. Hindi nga natin maintindihan kung ano yung criteria because, well, in the last Tokyo Olympics, skateboarding, surfing made it, and still a prime sports like billiards is not there. And we're wondering, I think there are also other prime sports like squash that has a very, very big following all over the world. Hindi pa nakakapasok sa Olympics. But perhaps at some time, makapasok din ang billiards and maybe other sports that are close to Filipinos' hearts. Okay, what about our medal tally today?
Let's talk about our medal tally.
I'm not sure if this is the final one, but let's flash that on your screens. Our medal tally. I think this is not
medals.
updated. Yeah,
50 gold medals for the Philippines.
First of all, it's 51 now. We were able to get those 3 gold medals, and then of course the women's 5-on-5 basketball team. So we have 51. We finally broke the 50 gold medal mark. That should set us up comfortably in 4th place. Pero hindi na natin naabutan yung 3rd placer na Indonesia. So 51 gold medalists. Do we have a list of silver medalists? Okay, we have it right there. So Magno, you mentioned, Diane, and Topacio.
Today, those are the silvers today.
The esports, and then of course our men's basketball team. And the bronze medalists, we've got that also for you. A rundown of today's bronze medalists. Ito Skarag, our good friend, getting a men's trap shooting bronze medal, the judo mixed team. And Ngaya of Vovinam, that's also a surprise. Vovinam was not played in the 2019 Southeast Asian Games. And Charmaine Dolar in aerobic women's individual. So that's an added piece of hardware for Cynthia Carrion's collection.
Yes.
Bronze medal in aerobic. And this is our overall medal standings. Hindi pa updated ito because yung Philippines naka 50 lang dito. Hindi pa naipasok yung men's yung isang gold medal ng yung women's basketball team. Hindi pa naipasok dito. But it looks like Indonesia has a firm grip on number 3 and we will finish number 4 in the overall tally. Singapore will drop down to 5th place. But Diane, just thinking about what happened in the Southeast Asia Games, I noticed that among the 15 sports that Hanoi deleted from the sports that we played in 2019, 6 of them were actually Olympic sports. And that really hurts you because
Yeah.
it's okay for you to just take away the category B sports. But if you take away the Olympic sports, sayang naman, because I want to be able to say, that they took out baseball, modern pentathlon, rugby sevens, sailing, skateboarding, and surfing. All of those are Olympic sports. Tinanggal nila. And those are 6 out of the 15 sports where the Philippines collected 47 gold medals in 2019 na hindi nila
Mm,
pinasok sa calendar ng Hanoi.
that's
So,
a
yan ang
lot.
isang naging diferensya, no? Isang factor kung bakit hindi natin nakuha yung yung target natin. And from Andrew Sandoval, when was the last time the Philippines got more than 50 goals in the SEA Games when we didn't host? Well, the only time the Philippines got the overall championship was when we hosted.
Yes, and
So,
actually the other
mhm.
times that we didn't host, which was prior to 2019, 2017 and 2015, if I'm not mistaken, we were only 6th place because we
Yes.
got only 20 plus gold medals. So actually, I was speaking to POC President Babol Tolentino, sabi niya, of course, we want to be higher than 4th place. But considering everything, winning 50 gold medals, not hosting the games, Pag-SEA Games, it's a relatively good placing. And he also did mention, uh, prior to the SEA Games, we didn't really train as much as we wanted to the sports. He did mention all the lockdowns that we had to go through here in the Philippines, mga ECQ and different levels, and it really made it hard. A lot of sports didn't play for a long time. So, our other Southeast Asian Games counterparts started much earlier. It's not an excuse, but it's just reality of what happened.
Yeah.
So, sabi nga niya, 2015, we were like 6, 2017 also. Then 2019, we hosted, we were number 1. We got 149 gold medals. And then now 50, I would say good, 4th place,
Mhm.
50, 51. I mean, imagine if we were 6th. Okay. And I remember I was telling him nga na nung 2015 and 2017 in Singapore and in Malaysia, parang I don't remember having to run to so many places because we were in so many finals na yung na-experience ko sa Hanoi. So,
Mhm.
it's a good sign that, we still fought hard. And of course, the hometown decisions are tough. And let's see kung ano nga, I don't know if we have, parang wala pa ata yung final sports in Cambodia. But
Yeah.
yeah. So,
I'm sure pag-uusapan pa yan. But Diane, here's something interesting that I thought some of our viewers would find very insightful. The sports that brought gold in 2019 but failed to win a single gold in Hanoi. And here's the list. Golf, karate. Wala tayong gold sa Hanoi in karate.
yeah. Karate,
Rowing,
wala.
shooting, wrestling, canoe kayak, and cycling. Those sports gave us golds in 2019. But in Hanoi, 0. They were not able to give us any golds. Also, Diana, I want to mention that 2 sports that went without a gold in 2019 but nakakuha naman ng gold sa Hanoi are bowling and duathlon. So, let's
Yes.
go to bowling.
Bowling.
Men's team of 4, Christian Dichanco, Ivan Malig, si Patrick Nuke, and Merwin Tan. And in men's singles with Merwin Tan once more. So
Merwin won
that's a
2
great
golds. That's
accomplishment.
incredible. It's the
Yeah,
first time
great
they win a
accomplishment.
gold in more than a decade. So
And sa
we used to
duathlon naman,
dominate bowling.
a long time ago, yes. And another surprise gold medal came from duathlon. Si Marion Mangrobang, she bagged the gold in the women's individual duathlon. But wushu took a big drop from 7 golds in 2019 to 2 only in Hanoi. Medyo malaking drop yon. Jiu-jitsu from 5 naging 2. Taekwondo from 8 naging 2. Well, also for dance sports, they had 10 gold medals in 2019, but in Hanoi, they were down to 5. The big top-notcher was gymnastics.
Gymnastics.
Artistic gymnastics, in fact, from 2 gold medals in 2019 to 7 gold medals in Hanoi, and 5 of them courtesy of Kaloyulo. Well, Diane, what an experience it was for you. And before we go, here's another comment from Alfie Altavano. Is there an availability of Justin Brownlee joining Gilas basketball team? Kasi pansin ko, nahihirapan ang team ng Pilipinas against Indonesia na may import na deep pwede pa ba, Sir Kinito Henson? Okay, si Justin Brownlee needed to be in the Philippines to process his naturalization papers. And during the pandemic, wala siya dito. So medyo natulog yung kanyang naturalization process in Congress. But now that he's back in the Philippines, I don't know. He said he's more than willing if he's asked and if he's offered to be a naturalized player for us. But we have Ange Kwame. He's
Right.
waiting. He already has his naturalization.
Mentioned by Coach.
Yeah. And we're also hoping that maybe in 2023 in the FIBA World Cup, baka yung naturalized player natin si Jordan Clarkson na. Because marami na tayong matatangkad na malalaki na local. Kai Soto, Junmar Fajardo. Kita natin si Junmar, 6-time MVP ng PBA. Wala pang kupas. He held his own against tough opposition in the Southeast Asian Games.
Yes.
Kulang sa tulong.
And he was
for
running a fever, He was running a fever, like,
Yes,
I think
yes.
after, during the Malaysia game, he was running a fever. But then today, look, he was there. Tsaka he's gotten fit. He's gotten fitter. He's lost some pounds, and he's definitely a super guy to have in the team, Junmar Fajardo.
We're talking about Gilas, Diane. We also want to mention that one guy who really gave it his all was Matthew Wright in tonight's game.
Yeah, Matthew.
And you remember, na-interview natin si Matthew here on PlayitRight TV, and he said he will never take any game lightly. He said out of respect for his opponents, out of respect for the game, he will always play like his life depended on the outcome. And that's what he showed. Yun nga lang, minalas tayo, nagwagay ang Indonesia, but well, as Coach Raiko said, and I hate to keep on repeating this, it's not the end of the world. We will rise from this. I think ang consolation natin is natalo lang tayo sa Southeast Asian Games. So we have the opportunity to bounce back in a higher level of competition. So maybe in the FIBA Asia Cup we do better. Maybe in Asian Games we will do better, and so on down the line until we reach our ultimate goal, which is to be competitive in the FIBA World Cup 2023.
Before we go, I just wanted to mention also a couple of other notable wins. You know, we had another gold medal in weightlifting, Kinito. Si Vanessa Sarno broke the Southeast Asian Games record in the 671 division, 71 kilo division. And that was like an unbelievable success for her. She's only 19 years old. She's from Bohol. There's still so much to know about her, and that's a very exciting development that we have someone with that kind of force aside from Heidelin Diaz, who is going to keep on working. We also got a bronze medal in women's football. I know it's only a bronze, but for women's football to win that bronze was our first medal in 37 years. So congratulations to our women's football team. And like we said, yung bowling, that was our first medal in 11 years in the Southeast Asian Games. So let's hope that our bowlers get back on track and be the dominant force in Southeast Asia at least.
Now, we're getting a lot more comments, and I'm actually asking the producers, put them out. Even if these comments are negative, even if they're very destructive, we want to listen to what you guys have to say. And, okay, Philippine basketball, no improvement from Clark Sigurdsson. Well, you know, that's his opinion. We want to be able to give you this platform to air your views so that maybe our officials are listening in, and they can also keep their ears open, their eyes open to what our viewers have in mind. Baldwin or Goldwin for Gilas? That's a question from Crystal Aslo. Well, both of them have win-win, but you know, Coach Reyes, as it's often said, one loss should not define the fate of any one person.
Agree.
And I think this was a learning experience. We might have underestimated the level of competition in the SEA Games, especially in the 3-on-3. Nagpadala tayo ng yung nag-champion sa PBA 3x3. but it's not the same level of competition eh. And sa international, iba na talaga eh. So maybe we should have brought in players with similar PBA experience like what happened in 2019. It's a Oh, okay. Medyo nagulat ako doon. But yes, okay, Crystal Asyang, Baldwin or Goldwyn for Gilas, that's a big question. But, Coach Chotres is the program director of Gilas, and we're hoping that there will be a rebuilding from
For
something like
sure, for sure.
from something
Remember
like
when we
that.
talked to him, he was also given very short notice. Nagulat rin siya
Yeah.
that he was tapped, to take over from Tab Baldwin. And it was really a hard job and he knew it, but he took it, he gave it his best. So I still take my hat off to Coach Chot, and I know that he'll come back and
Yeah,
be
and
discussing this program with everybody and to be able
And
to
Diane,
get back.
we're not apologizing for anyone here. And this is a free-flowing discussion. As I mentioned in our Dean's List, I gave the reasons kung bakit tayo natalo. Hindi tayo dumepensa sa perimeter. Hindi natin na depensa na maigi, and we didn't stick to Bolden as we should have. Si Xaviero, medyo napabayaan din natin. Yung frustration of the backcourt, hindi natin nagawa. So those are things that we can learn from. That's why we have a discussion like this. From Ernest Bal, what could be a system difference in terms between the gold medalist Perlas Pilipinas and Gilas? Perlas did a very good job. They hit their outside shots, but they did lose to Malaysia, and luckily they caught their opponents off guard. Sometimes it's the luck of the draw. But I think Coach Patakino is on the right path, and I'm also hoping that Coach Chotres will be able to put the pieces together for the big competitions that will count on the way to the FIBA World Cup.
Get people in time.
Yeah.
Maraming, I know he talked about Dwight Ramos not being able to be here.
Yes.
Bolick and
Yes, Robert Bolick would have made a difference. Kai Soto, for instance.
Oh
Do you
yeah,
think,
Kai Soto too.
Yeah, if Kai Soto had been there, then meron tayong pantapat kay Xaviero, and then Junmar Fajardo could have concentrated on Bolden. And I'm not saying these things so as to assuage our pain, but I also felt that there was one critical call when Bolden should have fouled out, when he held down Junmar Fajardo.
They didn't call it, no? They didn't call
that
it.
I thought was a very clear foul. Not a flagrant, but a clear foul, and that should have fouled out Bolden. But
That's
it was
true.
But that's breaks of the game.
And clearly Bolden made the difference at the end.
Surely he made a difference. He's a very smart player. I agree with Coach Raiko 100%. This guy, I was so impressed because he played within the team system, and parang he wanted to get his teammates involved, that it wasn't just about him. It was about the team.
Yeah, a lot of
He
maturity
was only
there.
24 years old. That's a credit to him. From Joey Ambrosio, more sports needs to improve. Sayang yung sa cycling, swimming, and athletics. Swimming, nakakuha tayo ng gold medal. So, 2019, we also got one gold medal. This time, we got a gold medal in a 200-meter backstroke from Chloe Isleta. From Miro HKPH channel, good evening, sir and Miss Diane. Still part of our players, but masakit lang po sa loob na natalo tayo sa tinagal-tagal nating hari sa basketball sa SEA Games. Patama po sana, ito po ang wake-up call. Yes, it was a bitter wake-up call. And Diane, we have not lost in the SEA Games for the last 51 games. It was 50 straight wins. Wow. And we're going back to 1991. The last time we lost the championship was in 1989. So matagal-tagal na yon. It was a long reign. It was a great ride. But we'll be back. We certainly will be back.
1 year na lang ang hihintayin natin para makabawi sa SEA Games, because Cambodia SEA Games is just in May 2023.
And for volleyball, ang Gilas, sana makakuha din ng field foreigners. Actually, si Kalimao was supposed to play for our Philippine team, but then she was signed to a contract in the US. And so I guess a lot of these things are items in the agenda that we need to address. Yung mga players natin who are going abroad, not able to play for a national team, sana makagawa tayo ng magandang sistema so that the best players can represent us all the time. I think Kalimao would have made quite a difference with our women's volleyball team kung nakalaro siya. More training, perhaps. No more pandemic. So, wala na masyadong
hopefully.
So, going forward to Cambodia in
Yes.
2023, we're hoping that we will be able to rise back into overall contention. Still proud
Joey
of our
Anton,
yeah,
Joey
Ambrosio.
Ambrosio. Still proud of Team Philippines. Ang daming silver and bronze. And
Bawi next
bawi
year.
next year laban Pilipinas. Sabi nga ni Bumble Tolentino, out of the 60 silvers that we got, 30 or 50% of them were all subjective sports. So
Yeah.
could have gone either
I-
way.
Well, from Ma Shi Chu, we will be back, and we certainly will. Not only the Philippines in the next Southeast Asian Games, but also PlayitRight TV. We will be back on Wednesday for another episode. This is a continuing series, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday for PlayitRight TV. And Diane, again, a reminder to all of our viewers, like and subscribe.
Yes, and
we
share.
continue to provide you with all these insights, these interviews. Remember, tayo lang nakakuha ng interview with the Indonesian coach Raiko Toroman, and you heard it first on PlayitRight TV. And Diane, we also have to thank Sonac for all the support that they continue to give us, the ASICS brand, the Molten brand, and of course, all you guys want to avail of this valuable assets in sports equipment, in basketballs, and in footballs, in volleyballs. Go to playitright.com. That's our sister company. And you will be able to access all of those products from all different sports at very reasonable prices. A lot of discounts being offered almost on a daily basis. So go to
PlayitRight.com.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you everybody for joining our discussion. Kenito and I love to hear from you. Let us know kung sino pa yung gusto nyong ma-feature or ma-guest namin dito sa show PlayitRight TV, and we'll try to make it happen for you. Always a joy to be able to talk sports with you and share not only just the victories of our athletes but also their defeats as well. So hanggang sa next time, this is Diane Castillejo.
And this is Kinito Henson.
See you next on PlayitRight TV. Thank you. God bless. Mabuhay Philippine athletes.